Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Reading Regular Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. And as I look around the room here, I see that we are joined by Commissioner Danny DeCoya. And on Zoom, we have Peter Rye and Nelson DeLeon. And I am Wayne Beeler. I am the chairman of the Planning Commission. And probably we will be joining shortly. Will probably be joining shortly, since and with that, I also would like to introduce the new director of community development, Mr. David Barr, and the assistant deputy of community development, Patricia Vasquez. And as most of you probably saw in the newspaper, David's been here maybe a week, 3 days. But David grew up here in the city of Reading, South 15th Street. So that he has definitely a connection to the city that most community development directors never had in the 20 years I've been here. So welcome, David. Welcome, Trish. Okay. Next on the agenda is to have to ask a question to Matt. And Chris Hartman's here. Oh, and Chris Hartman's here too. Do we accept the agenda first and then amend it, or do we just amend the agenda?
Chris, if you speak,
sure. You should accept the existing agenda first and then amend it.
Okay, great. I did remember that correctly. So with that, do I hear a motion to accept the planning commission meeting agenda as distributed? Okay, Dan? Second?
Second.
Okay, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Okay. We have an agenda. Okay. Now, we're going to amend the agenda and add we're going to add the preliminary final plan review for Mitsubishi Chemical Advanced Materials Parcel D. That's the new loading dock they would like to build. And we also have another waiver request for 1140 Luzerne Street. Do I hear a motion to accept the amendments as presented? Okay, Danny? Second?
Peter?
Okay, thanks, Peter. Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we now have our amended agenda. Okay, next up, we have public comments on agenda items, and Mike Louder has joined us to present some information on. Let's see here. Here's it. On 6H, the TMC lot consolidation and land development plan at 743 Torrance Street.
Good evening, everyone. As Wayne introduced me, my name is Mike Louder. I am the executive director of the Center Park Historic District. I'm here to discuss, or to let you know that, that there's some concerns about this project, and has been some concerns for quite a while, going back to the very beginning, when the owners of the Platinum Sports Bar, or what we're calling the TM's property, bought a property at 730 North Third Street, and decided to subdivide it, I guess is what we would be saying, to make a parking lot for their bar. They did go ahead right away and start removing trees and doing land work in order to do this without any discussion with anybody here in City Hall. I'm concerned for a number of reasons. Number one, the fact that we've taken a historic property, and when I say property, I mean everything, including the land, not just the structure and the buildings, and pretty much decided that it wasn't worthy of staying as it had been and turning it into potentially a parking lot. I believe it goes against the goals and of a historic district. Definitely would be changing the historic district boundary map. And I realize there's no historic structure on there on what they're doing to the back of that property, but I do believe that a historic property includes everything. Includes the land, the mature trees that were cut down, and as well as the home that was there. That's my one concern. My other concern is for the safety of the neighborhood. This property had been a restaurant and bar for many years. And when the zoning map in place was put into place, this area is considered an R3 residential property. What that means is that such structures like that, businesses like that, are to remain in their condition that they are when that zoning was made. By adding this parking lot, what we're doing is we're creating a increase, in my opinion, an increase in traffic and an increase in what had been a walk-to neighborhood bar now is a destination. I don't think that follows the zoning, to all due respect to the zoning hearing board. I don't believe that follows the zoning regulations. I also believe it's in the prerogative of the planning commission to look at traffic concerns. We're putting this parking lot on Thorn Street, which is a very narrow street. Parking on both sides of the street, and I believe it's going to cause a concern for the neighbors who live on Thorn Street with their cars and people coming out of the parking lot, probably a little buzzed in some cases and causing damage to those cars. I want to make it clear that I'm not against a restaurant in there. There had been a restaurant there for many years that we enjoyed going to as a neighborhood. And I think it's a positive as a neighborhood property, but not as a destination property. My understanding is also that they are shuttling people from their other location on Center Avenue to this property. And I don't think that's right either. That's pretty much what I have to say.
Very good. We will certainly take your comments into consideration.
Mr. Chairman, If I may,
Yes,
I apologize. Good evening, everybody. Rob Lewis from Kaplan Stewart. I am counsel for the applicant in that matter. Would it be appropriate for me to respond now, or would you rather I wait until the agenda item arrives?
please wait until the agenda item arrives.
Thank you.
And then we can go from there. Okay, very good. Thanks again, Mike. You're welcome to stay if you wish.
How long on the agenda is it?
Probably at least an hour away.
Fine, thank you.
So we have 11 plans today.
Been there, done that.
So, okay, so first up on the list, we have the First Energy Stadium Land Development Plan, the final inspection conditions and approval, and conditions of approval. So I will hand it over to Jerome for the update.
Thank you. Final site inspection was conducted on July 8th, 2025 at this site. This plan was previously reviewed during the 2022-2023 calendar years. The plan was approved and reaffirmed several times. The intent of this is to conclude this project and bring it to a finality and record the plan and those items. The land development plan, as I mentioned, does need to be recorded. An as-built plan has been submitted for the project, and we believe that is best to be attached to the land development plan set, which will be recorded. A municipal improvements agreement was never required for this project since it's a city-owned project. So therefore, there will be no release of escrow accounts. There was the factor for stormwater management maintenance for the site, and once again, the city of Reading will be the ones responsible for those stormwater management improvements on the site. Landscaping on the site is held up pretty well. The city arborist has completed a final inspection, and we had asked that we just keep a watch on the remaining trees, and a note should be placed on the plan indicating that they would be replaced if they do not survive past 18 months. There is the fence issue that's located between First Energy Stadium and 2040 Center Avenue, and that should be resolved as a condition of approval. As mentioned, the plan was reaffirmed several times, so if this plan moves forward, we did reaffirm it last month. And therefore, I think we're okay for another 60 days, but we should make sure that we get this done and reported. Other than that, the permits and fees for this project can be resolved once the plan is reported. So there are no other items left on this, and we're recommending that we pursue final approval with recording the plan, the as-built plan, and there is no municipal improvements agreement to terminate, nor is there a stormwater management maintenance agreement. So we're good to go on this.
Is there anyone here for this project? Yeah, seeing and hearing none. Any comments from the commissioners or staff?
Mr. Chairman, this is Tim.
Hearing none?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'd just like to add one little thing. I do believe this should have a stormwater management agreement. By the way, that I did some research here since the last meeting, and the NPDES permit and the notice of termination cited, or not cited, but it identified the operator as the individual who is responsible for the ongoing maintenance of the stormwater management facilities, which is basically the pond out there and the drainage that goes to it. It's pretty simple, but it identifies it as the Reading Phillies. And I think a simple stormwater management agreement establishing that would be appropriate here in this case, because there is some question, and I wasn't able to resolve it with any of the references that we have here at City Hall, but the NPDS permit establishes it, and I think I agree with that, and I think the stormwater management agreement would be appropriate. It should be pretty simple, and Chris, I communicated that with Michelle.
Yeah, I concur with your position on this, Tim. I think the city may have to sign that agreement too, but if the Phillies are the responsible party, the agreement can provide that they will perform the work. But the city, as the property owner, needs to consent as well. Consent to have the work done by the Phillies because of their property ownership.
Very good. And that is the only comment I have.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, anyone else? All right, with that, do I hear a motion to accept and approve the final site inspection and conditions of approval for the First Energy Stadium land development plan as detailed in the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 11th, 2025, and the addition of a stormwater agreement between the city of Reading and the Reading Phillies to detail the stormwater management. If the conditions of approval, or if the conditions of approval, or if the final land development, including an as-built plan, is not recorded by September 19th, 2025, this approval is rescinded.
So move.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Second?
Peter.
Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. And since we've reaffirmed this last month, we don't have to do a reaffirmation. So this plan can move forward and be finalized.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, hi, Will.
Hello, good evening. Just curious because the adjoining property was mentioned, the one there along Center Avenue, the northeast corner, the former bank building, as unoccupied, and we had reviewed plans for that property to be a banquet hall. Is that still operative? Does anybody know what's going on there?
As far as I know, the banquet hall isn't going in anymore.
Are you talking about 2040
Yeah.
Center Avenue? I can't, Will,
Yeah.
this is Joan London. I can speak to
Oh, hi,
that
Joan.
because-
Yeah.
I will. I can speak to that because on Friday, I submitted an application to the zoning hearing board for hearing on August 13th for a proposed daycare center at that location.
Oh. Okay, well, thank you for that information.
Well, then they're really gonna need to fix that fence problem, I guess.
Yeah, the fence issue will need to be resolved.
You know,
And as mentioned, that's a condition of approval.
If you,
There's two ways of handling it. There's the ability to cut an access lane. Excuse me,
I thought that was done already.
no, it wasn't.
Tim, did we not do the fence stuff yet? I know
Nope.
we were getting close.
No, the fence is still there. It's still being handled by the administration.
So anyway, there's the ability to cut a hole in the fence to accommodate one-way or two-way traffic. We had correspondence with, or discussions with the emergency management services, and at a minimum, it has to be 12 feet. There also is the option of taking down the entire fence.
I think the proposal at that time was that the whole fence was be taken down.
this is being also coordinated with the administration department, so I don't think we
Yes.
need to go any further.
Very good. Very good. So you know, Joan, so they are trying to, administration is trying to get that problem fixed.
Okay,
Because, you know, they basically don't have access to your property, from what I understand.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out.
thank you.
All right, next up on the agenda, we have Supernatural Produce 3 Land Development Plan, the final inspection and conditions of approval, and I'll turn it over to Jerome for the update.
Yes, thank you. This was reviewed on July 9th, 2025. This is regards to the property located at 2035 and 2045 North 4th Street. This is the Supernatural Produce. We had the land development plan in for review for some time. The applicant had chosen not to do a municipal improvement agreement or stormwater management maintenance or stormwater management improvements agreement, and maintain that the plan remained active until those things have been completed. A site inspection was completed on July 2nd, 2025 with representatives of the Public Works Department. The remaining items are as follows. The plan that's still active will need to be completed as an annexation plan and a land development plan. The highway occupancy permit for the site has been issued by PennDOT, and the site improvements are being completed. It's my understanding that they have been completed at this stage. So the driveway ramp was the only remaining site improvement that needed to be required. At the site, we noticed that there were a few landscaping items or trees and a shrub that needed to be replaced, and the applicant will take care of that within the next few months when it's seasonably acceptable to plant the trees. An as-built plan will be required for the site, and the same thing would apply. The as-built plan should be submitted with the annexation land development plan and recorded with all those documents. As mentioned, a municipal improvements agreement was not required. The applicant chose to do the improvements as the plan was still active, so there is no release of escrow accounts. There will be the need for a stormwater management maintenance agreement for the site, and we had suggested a minimum of 18 months should be considered. Moving forward, once those items are completed, the permits and fees should all be resolved. There's nothing further on this project. Tim, do you have anything further?
No, I think that summarizes it. Yes, we do need a stormwater management agreement, and that's going to be true with any land development plan that has an approved required stormwater management feature. That's part of the city's MS4 or NPDES permit we have with the state and the DEP. So it's important that we get these agreements to make sure the owner needs to understand that they're responsible for the long-term maintenance of these facilities. And it also gives the city the permission to go on site to do our inspection and our due diligence. And that's all I have.
We do have representatives here from Supernatural Produce. Do you have any questions or comments?
This is Dan. Is Lucy here or Mike Pilko?
Yes, yeah, Dan, Lucy's here.
Okay, I think.
Zoom, Dan.
What's that?
Mike Pilko is on the Zoom.
Oh, okay. They contacted me this afternoon, and there's been I guess in their financing this project, they want to separate the two southern apartment units from this building. So that would just make a minor description change on my plan, and that can be done. Maybe they can explain why they did it. It seems to be a financing thing, but it's a minor amendment that we have to make to the plan, which I can certainly make while we're finalizing this thing.
So with regards to what Dan had said, during the new market tax credit financing of this project, the Capital One required that we separate the parcels. 225 to 227 were separated under its own entity, 225, 227 North Fourth Street LLC. It was a requirement on their behalf, so we needed to make sure that we got that done, and the rest of it stayed in place.
That should be.
So that is, I can draw a new line in there. I can show that as an adjoiner, and I think the same people control it. And what we went through with zoning is we had that the Supernatural Food was supplying the 9 parking spaces for those units, and I think that would still stay the same. So maybe there's some language we want to put on the plan.
That should be able to be done with notes, right?
Oh, yeah, and actually, if you go on the county's website, for the tax parcel IDs, it does show the difference on the landowners already, and that's why I only included 235 and 243, which are the ones that you have. So the other ones no longer apply.
Correct. Okay.
It actually makes it
Okay,
work.
then I'll just amend the plan to show that line going down through there, show the new adjoiner, and change the frontage along 4th Street, and I can have you a legal description tomorrow.
There should be a note on the plan though about this parking obligation on the parcel.
It is. It's on the plan.
Okay.
It's in the zoning decision that it's on the first page. It goes through there. Maybe Jerome and I can look at that and make sure that it's perfectly clear.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it is stated.
So 229, that was previously on the plan and through zoning hearing board and all that. That was all in one property, right? And now is when you're deciding to separate out the house?
The properties that were separated were 225 to 227. So 229 North Fourth Street and 243 North Fourth Street are still under the same tracks. And I have the legal descriptions, copy of the legal descriptions here.
And what about 229?
229 is still attached to the building.
Okay, and that won't be separated out?
No.
Okay, that's all.
What if I jump to the full? Would you be managing?
So,
I'm not sure if Mike, do you have anything in addition?
No, well, I think the only other quick update is the PennDOT driveway was installed last week. The sidewalks were being tied in today, and weather depending, the paving should be restored as well as the grading should be restored by the end of this week. Obviously, if we get weather, it might get pushed into next week. PennDOT has done an inspection of the work, and takes no issue with the installation as it exists.
well, that's good to hear, since it took you 2 years to get waiting to get the permit. So I'm very happy for you in that regard. And also for moving so quickly, because once you got the permit, you move quickly on getting the work done. So let's see here. Any comments from the commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, this is Will. I just wanted to
Hey,
give
Will.
I just wanted to give a quick compliment to the applicant on the exterior design. The building originally had arched openings, and I appreciate how the applicant has paid homage to that with those arched windows, which I believe softens the appearance of the building. I think fits in really well, and that's a good design principle for a readaptation such as this. So thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, do I hear a motion to accept and approve the final site inspection and conditions of approval for the Supernatural Produce 3 land development plan as detailed in the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 9th, 2025. If the conditions of approval or if the final land development plan, including an as-built plan, is not recorded by October 20th of 2025, this approval is rescinded. Do I hear a motion? Dan?
So move.
Second? Nelson? Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. You were one step closer to getting open, and I just once again want to say that we really appreciate all the hard work that you put into this and the patience, because this is like 3 years that you've been working on this project, 3 or 4 years.
And I know Mr. Sanchez wants to thank everyone in the city and the planning commission and everyone who has helped and supported the project these past couple of years. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
If you guys wanted to
Thank
stop
you all.
by the zoning office after lunch tomorrow, I'll have your permit ready.
Thank you so much.
And you're welcome.
Okay. Very good. Another big project.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will move on to Lishty's Mennonite Church Land Development Plan, the final inspection and conditions of approval. And I'll turn this over to Jerome.
Okay, this review was issued on July 10th, 2025, and the final site inspection was done on July 3rd, 2025. And this is in regards to the Lishty's Mennonite Church, also known as the Kenhurst Mennonite Church. This is located at 22 Kenhurst Boulevard, and the following items are hereby presented. The site does contain an impaired tributary. It always had the impaired tributary, even when it was a pet care vet office. Yeah, it was when it was a vet. So it is an impaired stream. The applicant has not done anything to further impair it. It's just a matter of, it's obvious now that it's the vegetation has been cut. And we just provided a suggestion that the applicant coordinate efforts with the Berks County Conservation District and Berks Nature to possibly look at mitigation measures that may be improve the area, because it's, you can see it from the road, it doesn't look like a nice stream. Besides that, the required landscaping materials and lawn conditions are in good condition. Same thing would apply for this project. An as-built plan would be required for this site. The plan has not been recorded yet, so therefore we believe that the best option is for the applicant to incorporate the as-built plan into the land development plan set that will be endorsed by the Planning Commission. There was no municipal improvements agreement for this project. It was another situation where it was a pay-as-you-go for the improvements. There is stormwater management facilities on the site, so therefore a stormwater management maintenance agreement shall be required. The Public Works Department should add any additional comments if there are any. Just to follow through, the approved plan has been endorsed by all parties. Once it would be reported with the Berks County Conservation District, and then the zoning permits and remaining fees would then be finalized. So we're recommending that this plan be approved as follows, and once endorsed, signed. Tim. Is there anyone here for this project?
Larry Gabrowski from C2C Design Group is online.
Hi, Larry. Do you have any comments or questions?
Just maybe a few questions, few comments. So these plans were submitted back in October of 2023 that were signed to be recorded. And then it was my understanding that they were never recorded. So do we need to get these plans re-signed and include these new notes
Yes.
by our people? Okay. Okay. And then do we record them or does the city record them?
You do.
Okay. So we'll record them. So that,
So once they're signed by us, when we give them back to you, you'll go to the Berks County Planning Commission for their signatures, and then they have a process to get them recorded without you having to kind of track back to the recorder of deeds.
yeah. Okay. So once planning commission signs off on the plans, I'll get a notification and then we can get them over to the
Yes,
county planning commission and get them recorded. Okay.
correct.
Yeah, and do recognize that the Berks County Planning Commission is now located at the South Campus. They are no
Yeah.
longer on the 14th floor of the County Services Building.
Yep.
Okay, any questions, comments from the commissioners?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman, for Public Works. Was the stop sign that was proposed installed on the alley?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It was one of, our traffic engineer was one that actually went for Public Works. I'd have to ask him and see.
Okay, thank you. Because
The answer
the
to
reason
your
I brought it up was because Kenhurst Boulevard, of course, is a major thoroughfare, and I reckon these congregants will be tending to exit, you're probably around the same time. So I'm imagining some traffic concerns there. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Not only that, Will, it also, there is an alley that does come through that area, and the alley and the parking area for this facility merge prior to Kenhurst Boulevard, and I do not see a stop sign. So
I thought I didn't see one.
that will need to be added. Okay.
I'm sorry, I skipped you, Tim. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I think Idra covered it pretty well, the stormwater management agreement and the comment about the stream bank restoration, I think is a good comment. And we'll work with them as well, since I believe we have an easement now that went along. I think, Larry, you put the easement on this drawing, if I recall, for the city to have some dual responsibility, since it is a major stormwater collection facility and conveyance for that whole 18th ward, that part of the 18th ward.
Yeah, I'm 9% sure. I have checked the plans to make sure. But
Yeah. It was a while ago, but I remember talking about it. Typically, when we do these land developments along that same corridor, that drainage, whether it's an open channel like it is there or underground like it was for all the car dealerships downstream, yeah, we try to get easements there so that the city has some regulatory control over the drainage to keep it flowing.
Any other comments? Do I hear a motion? Oh, Chris, should we do the reaffirmation first or the approval of the conditions first?
I do the reaffirmation first. And then the
Very good,
conditions.
thank you. Get to that page. Here it is. Very good. So do I hear a motion to reaffirm the approval of Lishty's Mennonite Church Minor Land Development Plan, PC number 2023-101? The project was originally approved subject to conditions on June 27th, 2023, resolution number 50-2023, and reaffirmed on September 26th, 2023 as resolution number 77, 2023. All right, Danny? Okay, second?
I'll second it. Peter.
Okay. Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. And then next, we have a motion to accept and approve the final site inspection and conditions of approval for the Lishty's Mennonite Church Land Development Plan as detailed in the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 9th, 2025. If the conditions of approval or if the final land development plan, including an as-built plan, is not recorded by October 20th, 2025, this approval is rescinded. Motion? Danny? Second?
Peter.
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? And the ayes have it. Well, good. That's another one that's been taking a few years.
We'll try to get 3 more next month. There's a number of them. The plans have been approved but not recorded.
Yeah.
So we'll get more involved.
Yeah. Yeah, that it always seems to be with some projects getting it recorded at the county seems to be a problem for some people. So, but okay, we will now move on to the McDonald's Restaurant Land Development Plan conditions of approval. And I will turn it over to Jerome for the update.
Okay, the McDonald's Restaurant Land Development Plan was last reviewed on July 15, 2025. This project is for the McDonald's located at 901 Spring Street, which is also at the corner of 9th and Spring Street. The plan was previously reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission on October 22nd, 2024, and then reaffirmed as time went on. The land development plan itself will be a tear down and rebuild of the McDonald's at that site. It's going to be a 26,640 square foot new McDonald's restaurant. And it's going to have 2 drive-through service location or stalls for the site. The items that are still outstanding on the plan are that the applicant has submitted to PennDOT a highway occupancy permit for the required site, except for required site accessibility, utilities, and connections that are located along North 9th Street as well as Spring Street. The Fire and Rescue Department will need to finalize their comments regarding the proposed fire hydrants, standpipes, and related emergency access to the site. Moving forward, we also need to have the planning modules endorsed and approved. The applicant has determined that the $5,000 donation or contribution that was going to be provided in lieu of recreation facilities would be paid in advance and not included within the municipal improvements agreement. So the $5,000 will be issued as a separate check and not be incorporated into the municipal improvements agreement as originally suggested. We do need a municipal improvements agreement for this project and a stormwater management maintenance agreement for this project. Other than that, we should be good with everything else in terms of approval. Very good. Do you have any comments, Tim?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone here for the applicant. It'd be nice to have an update on the HOPs, the highway occupancy permits. They have one for driveways, one for curb and sidewalks, and another one for utilities.
I think there is.
Anyone representing McDonald's? If not, just let you know, we have been working with them on all the various items that they need from the city in order to acquire those HOPs. As you know, it's a lengthy process and takes a lot of documentation to get these things through. And the planning modules are back with McDonald's. They're preparing, I guess, to put it all together and send it off to the DEP to get them approved. So that's all I have.
We need another reaffirmation on this. I think so. I think so. So yeah, okay, let's table it and then we can go from there. Okay. I'm not sure how long the previous reaffirmation. Let's see that we still have time, but if we don't, they can always get it next week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do a little bit of research on that. Since they're still waiting for their HOP permit. Okay, very good. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Okay. With that, do I hear a motion to table the McDonald's restaurant land development plan? Danny? Second?
I can second, Peter.
Okay, Peter. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we will that plan is tabled. Up next, we have the Albright Learning Commons Gingrich Library renovation project. I'll turn this over to Jerome for the update.
Okay. This plan was last reviewed on July 19th, 2025. This is a revised plan that we've seen before. This plan was required a revised plan of record since the previous plan was recorded. This was previously approved as the Albright College Gingrich Library, which included much more improvements than just what's being proposed at this time. Right now, this project is now a scaled back project, so we need a plan to replace the project that was recorded. As mentioned, the previously approved Gingrich Library did contain pedestrian and vehicular site accessibility improvements that were required by both Public Works as well as the Fire and Rescue Department. These improvements, as mentioned, will be scaled back and may not be providing the same area that was initially approved for emergency management. So we would like to have the Fire and Rescue Department make sure that everything is acceptable on this site. Most of the improvements are in the front of the building now and not in the rear. Before, it was all around the entire building and we were widening service lanes to the site. Moving forward, the erosion sedimentation control plan has been submitted to the Berks County Conservation District. The street addressing for the project has been, or the scheme for the street addressing has been submitted to Public Works Department as well as the Fire and Rescue Department. This was another matter that was outstanding from the previous plan. And the applicant has requested a series of waivers on plan sheet C0.2. The applicant and the planning commission are advised that some of the requested waivers do not necessarily apply. Other than that, the remaining items are just cleanup items for approval. So, Emily, they were in contact with you with regarding the use of the property.
Hi.
I would,
Oh, sorry. Hi, this is Dave LaPaca from Ruther Bauer, in case there's any questions regarding the plan.
did you confirm, the improvements and access and things like that with the fire marshal yet?
I know I did put a call in. We haven't as of yet connected, but I will continue to follow up on that to make sure that what we're providing was similar to what was proposed prior. But I will follow up and hopefully confirm that that's adequate.
Jerome, I think you put it in your review letter about confirming with the fire marshal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Tim, do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I hear that we still have an outstanding address condition here. I thought, I have to look
No,
back on my notes.
No, I actually have a letter from Chris
Lovell?
Lovell, where he actually submitted the revised addresses to the postmaster.
Yeah,
There is a plan that he provided to me that showed the addresses for each of them, and I believe he took that as well as a sketch that was done as part of that and submitted that to the postmaster. I don't know where that ended up, if they've been reviewed yet or not, but I know that we have resolved, I believe, the address issue.
okay. I'll check with Chris then too. I thought that was resolved. I remember discussing it, but quite frankly, I just don't recall the whole thing yet. So at least we know it has been started. We just don't know if it's been
Yeah,
completed.
he did forward me a plan with the addresses on it for each of the buildings.
Oh, okay. So you have addresses. Okay.
Yeah, as well as a letter to the postmaster verifying the addresses. So I don't know if he's heard back from the postmaster at this point, but I know it's in the works.
Okay, I'll confirm that and make sure we get that plan in our FTP file too.
The waivers that don't apply to this property are the impact studies, which would be the environmental impact assessment report, a community and fiscal impact assessment report, the traffic impact agreement report or assessment report, a parking and loading impact assessment report, a park and recreation impact assessment report. Those all don't apply to this site. The other items that were identified were a solid waste management plan. They asked for a waiver on that because the solid waste management would be collected inside the building. And then also and that's section 515.403B9. And then a waiver was requested for section 515.304.A, in which the initial plan officially submitted to the planning commission shall the meets and bounds description for the entire property. They're just showing this as a portion of the Albright tract. And total tract boundaries also apply to section 515.402 point D subsection 11.
Okay. So would you like us to take care of those waivers now?
First.
Yeah.
So section 515.304A is the initial plan officially submitted to the planning commission. Shall show meets all applicable requirements. To be considered for the preliminary plan. So this is the preliminary / final plan.
Correct.
That is not required.
Actually, the revised plan of record.
Yeah, this plan is exempted from standard procedures, so it would qualify as a preliminary / final plan. So the waiver is not required there.
Okay.
The applicant under 515.403B9 is for a solid waste management plan, and collection is going to be done inside the site. So that was 515.403B9. Then the other waiver is 515.405.A4, the impact studies, which really does not apply to this site.
Right. Okay. We could remove that.
Since it's a plan exempted by standard procedures. And then also 515.402D11, which is the total tract boundaries for the site are not shown, and that's because the project boundaries are very large and cannot be shown on one plan sheet. Last one was 515.402D11.
So I guess we only need the two, the solid waste management and the total tract boundary waivers, I believe.
Yes, yeah, okay, great. That's what my notes here said. Okay. I forgot to look, we do have updated plans for this one.
Yes, they were last issued on July 8th, 2025.
And since Berks County Planning Commission already reviewed this, they don't need to review it again.
Yeah.
Great. Then last question is this going to require a module?
No. They supplied a narrative to indicate that the sanitary sewage flows would not be increased. There is also a municipal improvements agreement and or stormwater management maintenance agreement may be required for this site, and I think we'll leave that up to Public Works.
Yeah, I think
to
it
make
will.
the final determination.
Yeah, it likely will.
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
All right, great. Do any of the commissioners have any comments on the Gingrich Library plan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Go ahead. Oh, I'm hearing
Go ahead.
I'm hearing feedback because I'm connected both ways. Okay. This plan is the third one we've seen over the last several years, and as has been noted before, this building is incongruent in its design with the rest of the campus as well as with the neighborhood. And this plan, I looked at the elevations, I walked through the campus last month. It's disappointing that it breaks from the brutalist style less than the previous plans. But I understand Albright's situation, and I appreciate at least those windows that are proposed on the corners. I think it'll help soften the brutalist style. I think that's important. I wish Albright could have done what it had proposed before, but I understand.
Any other comments? Okay, hearing and seeing none. First, we will, do I hear a motion to accept a waiver for the solid waste management plan? Chapter 515-403 B9. Danny? Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the first waiver. And then the second waiver is a waiver so that the meets and bounds of the entire property do not need to be shown on the plan. That's 515-402 D11. Do I hear a motion? Danny? Okay, second?
Peter.
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, there's our two waivers. And we ready to grant conditional approval?
We could, I mean, they're clearly outlined in terms of the conditions. And yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, because a lot of the steps already been taken care of in previous submissions. Okay, so do I hear a motion to grant conditional approval of the revised plan of record for the Albright College Learning Commons renovation plan located at 1621 North 13th Street, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 19th, 2025.
So
Okay.
move.
Nelson? Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then, okay, do I hear a motion to authorize the chairman of the planning commission to execute the municipal improvements agreement and the stormwater management maintenance agreement if applicable? Dan? Second?
Second.
Yeah, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, great. Phew. Okay, on to the next one.
Thank you, guys. Thanks to the commission.
Okay, thank you. It's easier. Hey, yeah, this next one's easy. The next we move on to Carpenter Technology Building 163 Land Development Plan, and I'll turn it over to Jerome for the update.
Okay, this plan was reviewed by my office on July 14, 2025. This is for Carpenter Technology Building 163 Tactic Consolidation Plan. This was reviewed as a preliminary / final plan since it was a plan exempted by standard procedures. This will be located on tract 1, which is part of the 92.21 acres site. We've reviewed at least 4 other applications that came through our office, as well as the planning office, zoning office. This one involves a 24,311 square foot of gross floor area for a warehouse, and it's going to interconnect other warehouses that are associated with building 97, building 97X, and building 98. Total renovation project will involve 177,850 square feet of gross floor area. The applicant, did submit quite.
Will, can you mute your side, please?
The applicant did submit an application that screwing me up. That includes 106 plan sheets.
I've lost the audio.
Yeah, I can't hear either.
Yeah, it looks like they went dark.
Hmm.
What did Emily say?
I'm sending a test.
She was asking you to mute one of your either cell phone or computer.
Okay,
We got
that's
it.
what I thought.
There they are.
We're back.
Yep.
We're back.
All
All
right.
right, so we'll continue on where we left off. The site is located within the heavy manufacturing district, and the manufacturing, warehousing, and office use that's proposed for this site is permitted within the zoning district. Moving forward, the applicant has requested a waiver for the requirements for a traffic study. And as per our last discussion with the previous project, the impact studies are not required for plans that are exempted from standard procedure, in which this one is. The applicant has also requested a waiver for the requirements of stormwater management. The proposed building addition and modification shall be contained on an impervious surface that will not adversely impact stormwater management. We dealt with another application that was submitted by Cartech, and we granted them a similar waiver. We'll discuss that as we move forward. The erosion and sedimentation control plan would need to be submitted to the conservation district. There will be no increased sanitary sewage flows. We had asked that they supply a narrative to support that requirement. The fire and rescue department will also have to determine if site accessibility is acceptable. And then we asked for a series of notes to be placed on the plan. Plan was submitted to the Berks County Planning Commission, or should be. We're not sure if that one was submitted or not. That needs to be checked. I don't think it has. It's my understanding that the applicant may be here.
There.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, Neil McNutt, Carpenter, and David Heiser with SDV Engineering.
Thank you. So yeah, we coordinated with them. Did you know if it was submitted to the county by chance?
It was.
It was. Right. Yeah. Did you receive a reply yet from the county?
Not from the county, we have not. Berks County Conservation District did. We just have to get their stamp drawing, but they gave us an approval letter.
So we basically cannot take action on the plan until the county has reviewed it, but we have a lot of cleanup items that we can take care of, including the waivers.
So you're still looking for a narrative from us that we don't, the reasoning for not needing a stormwater, is that right?
A simple paragraph to indicate that the building expansion will be to accommodate existing employees within the facility, and that no new employees will be incorporated.
And that'll differ from what's on the drawing itself, it'll be a separate letter.
Just a separate narrative.
Perfect.
And it would be submitted to the planning and zoning office, but more specifically to the public works department.
Yeah, it could be a note on the plan.
Oh, I think there is a note on the plan.
Oh,
We did add
Thank you.
and
okay.
but if we need to do a separate letter, we can obviously write that tomorrow and issue that.
If it's on the plan, that's adequate.
Okay.
We are sending out the minutes of this meeting will that be the formal approach forward, or we receive formal notes from you? Like, in other words, for us to respond to this.
Well, as I mentioned, we can take care of the waivers, the narrative Tim is responsible for.
We can do it now, okay.
We've done that, he said it's acceptable, so we'll incorporate that into the meeting minutes.
Thank you.
But I think we should take care of the waivers that are necessary. Right, do you have any other comments, Tim?
No, that's all I've got.
Okay, very good. Any comments from the commissioner? Okay. All right, so first, let's see. We will do-
Excuse me, whoever is on Caesar's iPhone, if you could mute your side, please.
Zoom police. Okay, well, it's gonna close it. Well, it's gonna, or. And it's gonna wait on somewhere. Okay. First waiver they're asking for is a waiver from the traffic impact study. That's 515-405A3. Do I hear a motion? Okay, Danny, second?
Second.
Oh, Nelson. Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, Tim, they're asking for a waiver from the stormwater management. Is that appropriate?
Well, to be honest, I haven't looked at this, but I'll take Jerome's opinion. It sounds like it's just an expansion of what's already there. I really can't speak to that because I haven't looked at the drawings yet. And I don't even know where they are. Yeah.
It's exactly like their, the plan that they had submitted, or where it was just a new building that was located on an impervious surface. It's close by this one. And, the area that they're gonna disturb is the already existing paved area, and the erosion sedimentation control plan is gonna take care of that, but they are not adding any further impervious surfaces. It's all.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's how we've done it when they've made alterations in their campus. That they've already got stormwater management in place, so I would agree with that.
Very good. Then, do I hear a motion to accept the waiver for stormwater management, chapter 515-507? Okay, Danny? Okay, second?
Peter?
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Very good. You have your waivers. As we mentioned, we do have to wait for the county planning commission comments. And we should be receiving those soon. They're beginning to catch up. They were a few weeks behind because their building was closed. But we should have those. Those should be coming in very soon.
Can we do conditional approval?
Not without the county. Not without the county comments. Sorry to say. But next month you should be ready for it. Because there's only a few things on the plan.
Would it be acceptable for us to reach out to the county for an idea of when they respond?
That'd be,
Would that be okay?
that'd be a good idea to make sure that they have it.
Yeah, it's, okay,
Yeah.
protocol, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
They didn't confirm they have received it, just that they are not finished, but yet by the time.
So they have received it.
They have received it, but we don't know any of the comments, so.
We have not received that copy yet, so we don't know really what their comments are.
Yeah, but it's okay if I reach out to them and see, like, they're backed up, so we just get an idea, we have a contractor who's getting ready, right, he's excited. We don't want, obviously, inflated prices and so on, calm down, so we'll be here in 2.5 weeks or something.
Do you have your ENS plan approved?
Yes, ENS from Berks County Conservation, yeah, absolutely, I don't have the stamped drawings, but I will have those probably next week, but they gave us a letter saying they're approved.
Yeah, so, yeah, that should be able to wrap up everything next month.
Tim, they will be able to do earth disturbance activities if they have an approved ENS plan, is that correct?
Let's see, I lost my connection here. Okay, yeah, I mean, if they do proceed without an approved plan, then it's at their own risk. This is not an NPDS permit. It's less than 1 acre of disturbance, so
Yes.
this would just be, a non-NPDS approval. You could proceed, but if something happens and something goes wrong, they could come out and shut down your job if you don't have an approved plan on site. So it's kind of proceed at your own risk if you don't have an approved ENS plan.
They do have an approved plan.
Oh, it is. Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, if it's approved, then what's the question?
They can proceed with the approval, to break ground.
From who? From Conservation District?
Yeah, I mean, the Conservation District has approved their ENS plan. They just wanted to know if they could break ground now.
If they have an approved ENS plan, they can break ground. They just can't build anything.
Okay, just not building anything. Okay, now I understand. Yes, that is correct.
It's perfect, mobilize it.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, that's perfect, thank you so much.
Okay.
We get that clarity.
Yeah, Carpenter Technology appreciates it. We met with you a couple months ago. We know we've given you a couple of plans to review, and you said, by the end of July, we thought we could figure it out. So we appreciate that. Simon, Emily, everybody's been a great help. Jerome, thanks very much.
Yeah, very good. So the last piece of business we need to do here with this is to table it. Do I hear a motion to table the Carpenter Technology plan? Okay, Danny, second?
Peter?
Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay. Opposed? Okay. Very good. And then we should be able to finish this up next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. On to the next page. Okay, next we have 1212 Perkiomen Avenue subdivision plan, and I will turn this over to Jerome for the update.
Hey, this is a subdivision plan that was submitted to the city of Reading. Our review is dated July 16th, 2025. It involves a 2-lot subdivision. First lot being at 1212 Perkiomen Avenue, and then the other at 121 South 12th Street. Lot 1 will be the one at 1212 Perkiomen Avenue that will contain 1,853 square feet. Which includes an existing residential building with 4 apartment units. Lot 2 is 1,373 square feet of land area, and that will include 2 apartment units with access at 121 South 12th Street. This does qualify for a minor subdivision plan, so the preliminary/final plan application can be submitted. Lots 1 and 2 are located within the R3 zoning district, and the uses would be considered as existing uses that were previously approved and permitted as such. within that zoning district. They have obtained zoning hearing board approvals via CHB Appeal 2410-029. Plan has been submitted to the Berks County Planning Commission, and we have received a review letter for that. The parking facilities on the site include 9 spaces that are considered as a nonconformity, since 5 residential apartment units will not change as a result of the subdivision. The curbs and sidewalks on the property are considered to be in fair condition. We should make a final determination whether curbs, sidewalks, and ramps would be required, and we can coordinate that with the Public Works Department. The Fire and Rescue Department will need to evaluate the site just to verify that fire hydrants, standpipes, and/or related emergency services or response facilities are acceptable. There will be the Public Works Department will need to verify planning modules required for this site. Again, it is existing conditions, just that the plan will be subdivided with the 5 units on one side, 2 units on the other. And that appears to summarize the comments we have for this property. The municipal improvements may be required if you require the curved sidewalks and ramps improvements. There will be also the need to provide 2 deed descriptions that will be recorded for the minor plan. That's it. All right. Any comments, Tim?
Yeah, as far as the planning modules, our utilities department issued an email to the applicant indicating that planning modules would not be required for the reasons that Jerome went through, that this is really just a subdivision. Nothing is changing. Nothing is being reconstructed or built on this site. So no planning modules. Same thing, curb and sidewalks, we agree, they look fair. Chris Lovell from our engineering department, he'll go out there and check on that tomorrow or the day after. We believe they're probably in good enough condition to leave as is. And because of that, then we wouldn't require the owner to put in ramps or any ADA features, since this is just a subdivision. So everything else appears to be fine. The addresses were interesting. We had a little discussion about the address, since you have currently one lot with 2 primary uses on it, which is interesting, is now being subdivided appropriately. So now we have 2 lots with 2 primary uses, and the addresses will stay as they currently are, the property addresses. However, there's a thing called the parcel address. Will now have the 2 lots will have separate parcel addresses, and we believe that the notes on the plan are sufficient to instruct the county tax mapping department to have enough information that they could assess and assign the parcel address to the new lot, the one off of 12th Street. So everything we believe is adequate as presented on the plan.
Any questions or comments, John?
No, actually, we believe that the plan is in condition that it could be resolved and approved as a conditional final plan approval, subject to the Hawk Valley review letter dated July 16th.
We did receive
County comments.
Yes. Yeah, correct. Then we're good there. All right. Any comments from the commissioners?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Given that I believe this property is in the Penn's Common Historic District, I suggest the Historic Architecture Review Board be notified. They may want records of the parcels being subdivided for their purposes.
Great, very good. Any other comments? Hearing none. Okay, do I hear a motion to grant conditional preliminary final plan approval for the 1212 Perkiomen Avenue subdivision plan, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 16th, 2025. Dan? Second?
Peter?
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Commission, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay. G, so goes here. Okay, on to the next one. Next, we have the TMC lot consolidation and land development plan for 743 Thorn Street and 2 other addresses. And I will hand it over to Jerome for the update.
This one's been around the block a few times. Our review letter was issued on July 18th, 2025. This is for the TMC annexation plan. This will involve 3 parcels of land that are located as follows. Premise A is a 11,628 square foot parcel that is owned by TMC 1, and that's located at 730 North 3rd Street. This is currently occupied as a residential dwelling or 1-family semi-detached dwelling. The applicant proposes to subdivide premise A, whereas 8,411 square feet shall be retained with the existing residential dwelling, and 3,217 square feet will be annexed to premise B. Premise B currently contains 3,018 square feet, and that's also owned by TMC 1. That property also has a street address of 743 Thorn Street. With the combination of premise A and B, which is the annexation, the total lot configuration will be 6,311 square feet. This property will then be utilized for off-street parking for premise C. Premise C is an existing 4,800 plus or minus square foot parcel of land that is owned by TMC 2, which is located at 220 Douglas Street and contains an existing commercial use, a restaurant and sports bars. So this is currently a non-conforming use within the R3 zoning district, and premise C will utilize the parking area that's on premise B. Know about that? There's going to be a quiz. The proposed plan was previously identified as 743 Thorn Street, which was an annexation and parking land development plan that was either withdrawn or denied a few years ago. New deeds will need to be prepared for premises A and B. Premise C's existing deed description should be satisfactory. As previously mentioned, up front, the site is located within the Center Park Historic District and or Queen Anne District, and we felt that the plan should go through review by the Historic Preservation Officer and also possibly the HARB. If necessary, a certificate of appropriateness would need to be considered by the HARB for this project. So we need to get confirmation from them from the Historical and Architectural Review Board. With premise B, it is permitted, the use is permitted by right. In terms of the parking area, We had asked the zoning office to verify that the existing restaurant and the sports bar qualifies as a permitted use within the R3 zoning district that can utilize that facility. I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, so the restaurant is not performing.
We've had a series of requirements that would apply for site accessibility to this site. The parking area will be located we'll have access onto Thorn Street. And there will be parking restrictions that will need to be put in place that would prohibit parking along certain segments of Thorn Street so that the cars can make the appropriate turning movements in and out of the site. There were a number of other smaller comments that were also included, but a lot of these have to deal with public works approval. The area occupied by the proposed parking facility will contain 14 parking spaces. They have included a stormwater management plan, which has been reviewed by our office, and we have provided comments with respects to those to the stormwater management facilities that are proposed for the site. It will be underground detainment of stormwater. The curbs and sidewalks on the property along Thorn Street are in good condition where the restaurant exists. However, where the parking area is located, the curbs and sidewalks, ramps would all need to be improved to the satisfaction of the city of Reading. The curbs and sidewalks along North 3rd Street are in fair condition, and if required, the proposed site improvements shall be depicted or required for that area. The Berks County Conservation District shall review the approval shall review the erosion sedimentation control plan, and that will be required prior to municipal approval. We asked for a series of notes also to be placed on the plan. A municipal improvements agreement will be required for this project. The stormwater management maintenance agreement will be required for this project. And that should be the highlights of the review.
Yes. And did we receive county comments?
But the county had reviewed it previously when they first submitted back in 2022. I spoke with Michelle. She said if it was just minor tweaks to the design, they don't need to review it again.
Good. All right, Tim, do you have any comments?
Yes, is anyone here representing the owner? I have a question with respect.
It's their,
Is
it's
Dan?
and their attorney.
Dan had attorney.
Yeah, Tim, do you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And I think their attorney is here too.
We're
Okay.
here also.
Okay. Question for you, Dan. As far as planning modules, obviously a parking lot doesn't need a planning module, but the existing single family house, I assume will stay a single family house. There's no changes there to that use on that lot?
I believe that's the case. Nobody had mentioned to me that they were
Okay.
gonna change it to anything else.
Okay, so based on that, then we won't need planning modules. I did not see any detail for paving on the parking lot. I saw paving on the ramps for the driveway. Am I missing something here?
I might have missed to put that detail on for the paving, but
Right.
it typical, 4 inches of stone and 2.5 of binder and 1.5 inches of top.
Yeah, it'd be good to get the paving detail on there. And the retaining wall, explain the retaining wall. There's a retaining wall out there now. Will any of that be demolished, or are you just going to be adding on to it? How will that work?
No, well, your ordinance requires that the parking lot can't exceed 5%. And the
Yes.
ground out there exceeds 5%. So,
Okay.
so to make it 5%, we got to cut it down, and you would be undercutting those walls. So the retaining walls would go along the the Douglas Street property to underpin those walls there. That's why we couldn't get so much landscaping along that wall area. And then between the residential property and the parking lot, we have some walls.
Okay, that's not clear. Where the walls will go and what you just described is not very clear on the drawing. I just see an outline where the property boundary is, and I'm assuming that's where these walls will go?
I think I have top of walls and whatnot. It depends on what page you're looking at, but I can make that clear. I can make that clear.
I'm looking at sheet 3 of 3. I see the detail. What was that?
Yeah, we'll bring up the pictures, the street view for what we're discussing. It's on page 8 of my review letter. Simon's gonna bring it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was just a little unclear as to where these walls will go. So you're going to leave the existing wall and you're going to underpin it with a new wall in front. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's yeah.
And then
good. Yeah.
Then between the two properties, there'll be a new wall because the residential parking lot doesn't have to be 5%, but the commercial parking lot has to be 5%. So you have to cut it down and maintain the wall between the ground between the two properties.
Last one. We're bringing that up now.
So you can I'm understanding now that the existing masonry block wall will remain.
Yes.
And the new retaining wall will go in front of that one,
Yes.
underpinning. There. Okay, so you're going to be undercutting the existing wall in front of it with a new retaining wall, and in order to bring that higher elevation down to get your 5% maximum grade.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so and I haven't been out there to look at that, but is that block wall actually retaining, or is that more of a fence, or is there actually earth behind that wall?
I think the going up parallel to Douglas Street, I think that's more of a fence. I've never been on the other side, but the dirt certainly doesn't go up that high.
Because if it's retaining earth and you're adding another 3 feet to that, that wall could be retaining as much as, and you're only going to be what right up against it.
There can't be earth on the other side of that. It's not that.
On the garage side of that?
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah.
There's no earth.
No, I'll have to check it. I've never been
there. I would think that there is. I mean, I don't know. Why would they build a block wall if it wasn't retaining something? That's an expensive fence.
Coming in from 3rd Street, now those are walls that are retaining, and it drops down. But then we have the landscaping area between the parking lot and those walls. It's that wall between parallel with Douglas Street that's the problem.
Right. So my general comment is, and maybe Jerome, you had this in there too, is I think you need to look at the structural integrity of what you're proposing here, because it's more than just 3 feet. You're doing 3 feet plus all of the retaining wall that's behind it. So you could have 5, 6, 8. I don't know what it is. We don't know what's behind these walls, and that's going to require some structure. If it was just 3 feet, then I think what you're showing there is fine. But if it's over 3 feet, then you have to get into a structural design that's more stronger than what you're showing on your detail.
I'll have to investigate.
Yeah.
What's behind those walls?
Yeah, the detail shows something that I think is simpler than what you're proposing out there, and it needs to be investigated a little further to see if that type of a wall is going to be sufficient.
And one other item that we want to consider also is the existing retaining wall, the block wall. They don't have control of the property. It'll go to another property, so they would probably need some form of easement if they did utilize the existing retaining wall for that purpose. But if they're going to be constructing,
Are you saying that the block wall that we're looking at in this picture here, are you saying that is not within the property?
well, if it's located along the property line, The area that's we identified as premise C.
Yeah,
The premise C property only goes to the end of the white
the
wall.
garage there, the white garage.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
beyond that point, then it's someone else's property.
Yeah,
And I don't think it's retaining anything. I think it's more of a fence than anything else.
yeah. Well, I think we need to confirm it because it seems like an expensive fence. It looks like it might be, and we've seen other walls like this in the city where they are retaining and oftentimes not adequate, structurally inadequate. And if we're going to make it deeper now, we're going to go down another 3 feet. We need to take a look to make sure that's going to be safe.
Let's do a site inspection.
Yep, I agree.
And during that site inspection, will the consideration of the parking spaces be done at that time?
Yeah, the area that's going to be located along Thorn Street that would possibly need to be prohibited from parking, we could also take a closer look at that, Tim.
Yeah, and that should be shown on the drawing because that diagram, I mean, normally for a driveway, if the street is wide enough that you can accommodate your turning movements in and out of the parking lot without having to restrict parking on the other side of the street, normally we would only put the yellow, like 5 feet on each side of the driveway entrance. But you're right, Thorn Street's very narrow, and Dan, I think you're going to need to have restricted parking on the other side. I think that's what the nature of your comment there, Jerome. I think you're saying that they're going to need it to restrict parking so you can get cars in and out of the driveway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't I look at that and we'll come up with the turning movement?
Yeah.
Because well, it's not the only narrow street in the city.
Right.
There's a lot of. So,
and if it's determined, and that should be on the plan, because then we have to take that plan, that diagram, and take it to city council for approval. Any no parking zones that we establish on city streets have to have the approval of city council.
Okay.
Similar to what we did for the McDonald's.
And I think the restricted access along Thorn Street could probably apply from the new driveway that's going to serve premise A.
Mhm.
And then all the way through premise B.
Right.
I think once we get to premise C, I think we could pick up the parking again.
Right. And then what about the other side of the street? I guess
We'll
you're going to
take
look
a
at that.
closer look.
Take a look at that. Okay.
we certainly don't want to impact parking any more than we have to.
Right. Right. Well, we're gaining spaces, which is good. I don't have any problems with a driveway as long as you can get, at least 2 or 3 spaces. What we don't like to see is having a driveway with one car that can only park one car, because you're taking away a public space to give somebody their own private space. We generally don't approve those.
The residential property will have 2 parking spaces on it.
Yes. Yes.
And as the zoning wanted, we stacked them rather than putting them side by side.
Right, and that's pretty common. We see that. If you can get 2 or even 3, that would be even nicer. But if you get 2, then that way you're +1. You take away one of the private spaces out in the street, but you gain another one on the lot. 2 off-street spaces for 1 public space.
I have submitted the plans to the conservation district, so we'll hear something back with them before too long here.
Let's get the site meeting scheduled in the next week, so then Dan could make the adjustments to the plan.
Yep. Okay.
Simon will set it up.
Then I will be sending you some communication to see if next week or the week after will be sufficient.
Okay.
Great. Very good. Yeah, I think with all the work that needs to be done on this plan, it should be tabled. Since there's quite a bit of stuff that Public Works needs to take a look at and confirm. So Here, are there any comments from the commissioners? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion to table? Dan? Second?
Second.
Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Very good. Now, move on to another one of Dan's projects. We'll move on to 601 South 9th Street parking facility. I'll give the update to Jerome.
This plan was previously reviewed by the planning commission, considering the entire property. It was determined that it would be a 2 or 3 phase project. So preliminary plan was approved, and now we're looking at the phasing scheme. Our review letter is now dated July 17th, 2025. This is for the 601 South 9th Street parking facility plan, which is now going to be a 2-phase project. Phase 1 will incorporate the off-street parking area and storage areas that have now 47 spaces that will be designed with points of ingress and egress along South 9th Street and East Laurel Street. There will be some sidewalk improvements, some driveway ramps, handicap ramps, retaining walls, landscaping, lighting associated with phase 1. Phase 2 will be completed at another time, and that will include a possible flex building containing 6,000 square feet, as well as off-street parking space storage areas that would include 15 parking spaces, stormwater management improvements, driveway ramps and handicap ramps. And phase 2, as mentioned, will then have access onto South Street. The site is located within the MC zoning district, and it appears everything is for phase 1 is acceptable for this project. We did provide comments regarding site accessibility for the driveways and the parking areas, which are relatively minor at this stage, considering we had more comments that were more much more encompassing versus this application. The applicant proposes new curbs, sidewalks, driveway aprons along Laurel Street, South 9th Street, and again, South Street will be at a later phase. The revised landscaping plan has been reviewed by the city arborist, and we just need verification that the current plan is acceptable. The fire and rescue department will also need to review phase 1 to make sure that it's acceptable to them. The stormwater management plan would not be necessary for this phase, but it is required for the following phase, which is phase 2 of the project, since that has all the stormwater management facilities. An erosion and sedimentation control plan has been submitted for phase 1 and will be required for approval of the letter of adequacy. There are no sanitary sewage facilities required for phase 1. A sewage facilities planning module may be required for phase 2. The development is shall be served by municipal water supply facilities, not for phase 1, but again for phase 2. A municipal improvements agreement shall be required for this phase, as well as a stormwater management maintenance agreement that will be required most likely for phase 2 of the site. And that concludes our review of phase 1 at this time.
He has installed the curbing along South Street, and he is going to install the I think they found a sewer lateral along South Street that is usable, and they're going to install the water service for the flex buildings in the future, so we don't have to be digging up to the city streets. Tim was saying they were planning on paving that in what, August?
Sorry,
Did
I
you-
had to mute on. Sorry. Yes,
Oh.
it'd either be August or September. I'd have to take a look at our schedule and see, but the contractor's on board and they're going to get started here the 1st of August.
Okay.
On all the paving. I'd have to see when they're going to do South Street.
So he will have those utilities installed behind the curb. So and the curb is constructed now. The city was going to install the handicap ramp at
Yes.
South and 9th Street. So that'll
Two
be
of them.
taken care of. And then he is going to install the curbing along 9th Street. I think we were out looking at that. So that's going to be done in the near future. So he's working on this as we speak. The handicap ramp down at East Laurel Street and 9th Street, I think we should hold off on that until the city decides what's going on with that subsidence. So we're not building something that gets taken out.
We'll escrow it.
What's that, Jerome?
The municipal improvements will be escrowed, so we'll still show it, and if it's constructed or we need further adjustments, I mean, we'll take care of it at that point. But a municipal improvements agreement will be required for this phase of the project.
Okay.
I think Dan was just saying that they're not going to tear up anything until Laurel Street is repaired by the city.
Yeah, that's a good point. This was a bit of a surprise, Dan. We thought that Laurel Street was going to be phase 2, which would have given the city a little bit of extra time to get in there and fix the sinkhole. But now I see that's phase 1, which means you can't do anything until the city gets that Laurel Street repaired. Is that how you see it?
Well, what we were going to do is build our ramps in using the alignment of the street. And then we're not going to hurt anything getting into our property. And then when the curb's going to come up. I don't think the city's going to take the street down.
Correct.
So if we come in at a 2% grade off of the existing where the subsidence begins and lay out our curb, our drive ramps that way, we'll do it in macadam and enter our property. And then when we get the curb fixed, we just go through that and do minor repairs.
Okay.
So
Simon has the page, the plan view, which shows phase 1 and phase 2.
Right. Yeah. Phase 1 now includes not only the parking area along South 9th Street, it also includes the area along East Laurel Street. There are 2 driveways along East Laurel Street. And Dan, I think you were describing the one on the lower end. Is that right? For the lower end parking?
Yeah, and the upper end is at kind of the beginning of the subsidence. So that
so you think you could get I doubt that you could get the upper lot in without the city first doing the repair work, because it stretches back beyond the sidewalk. In other words, it goes beyond the right of way and into the area which is private property where you're developing the parking lot. And I would hate for you to
I would area identified as phase 2 or 3.
No, that's phase 1 now. It used to be phase 2. Now it's all phase 1.
So that's what he wants to do. He wants to get his parking in there, and we figured we do it out of macadam, and then we put the curb in, and we can finish. When we do the sidewalk and everything, we can put ramps in. But if we're working off the edge of the road, we can put it in so there's a minimal amount of disturbance on the inside of the property.
Well, I think we decided out there when we were out there looking at it that the East Laurel Street lot is not going to be, you can't build that until that subsidence gets fixed. You can't put that in first and then come back and do the subsidence, because it would disturb what you've developed in the parking lot.
You think you're going to go behind the curb in the sidewalk area?
I believe we are, yes.
Oh,
now, maybe we need to take another look, but I thought that's what we decided when we were out there, that it definitely goes into the lot.
I know the curb, well, whatever the curb is way lower than it should be, until you dig down.
Yes.
He was hoping to get into those two lots.
Well, yeah, I was imagining the repair work there involving beyond the right of way. It to me, and I thought it was apparent to all the rest of us there, that it would go beyond the curb, the sidewalk. It would go into the lot in order to restore it, which is not uncommon. We see this pretty often when you get a subsidence, it's right along the edge of the road. It oftentimes involves the private property, and so we'd have to incorporate that. So if you want to do that, yeah, I mean, doing that now would mean that we would have to accelerate. We'd have to put this road now on our 2026 street paving, our road program for 2026, which we're still forming it. I'm not saying it's not on there, but or that it can't be on there, but it's still something that we're kind of in design concept phase right now. So if you want to do phase one and include that, I think the city, it's going to have to accelerate their design and put this on there so you can get that phase one in. At least that lot, they call it the East Laurel Street lot. I think you could probably get your South 9th Street phase one, call that phase 1A. You could probably get that in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the East Laurel, maybe we need to take another look at that. I don't think you'll be able to do that without having
that isn't. I hadn't think looking at it. I didn't think it was into the property that far, but you've looked at a lot more of this stuff than I have.
Well, you know what we'll do. It won't be the city engineers designing this. It'll be our consultant. So we'll get McCormick Taylor out there. They'll be out there doing the road paving anyway, but we'll get them out there and take a look at that and have them start to work on that sooner than later and see what they think.
Dan, can you get access to the portion of the site that we're talking about from South 9th Street, and then once the improvements are done to East Laurel Street, then the driveway could be put in?
We could get the lots that all parallel 9th Street. We can the lot coming in off of East Laurel Street comes in up at the top there, and then there's a retaining wall to keep the 5% grade. So that would be the problematic one.
Yeah.
So your phasing line could be adjusted just to take off everything that has access onto East Laurel Street.
Yeah, we can work around that. I'll have to tell him, and he'll just have to hold off. He's anxious to get moving, and you have to slow him down a little bit.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we don't want to slow him down. I just think what we'll need to do is take another site look at this. You're perfectly welcome. In fact, I would encourage you to come along if you can, and we'll have our actual design engineer from McCormick Taylor out there to look at this. So I guess we're going to have to schedule this for our 2026 paving road program. I want to get his opinion on that. And at least it looks like he could do this phase 1A, phase 1B for the Laurel Street if we had to delay this, till maybe, this time or later next year and let that stabilization work get done first.
When do you think we could have a meeting, Tim?
I'd have to talk to McCormick and see. Hopefully soon.
Okay, I can pretty well make my schedule.
In fact, our designer sent me the email today after we talked about our 25 project. When can we set up a meeting? And we were talking about a Zoom meeting that we may want to actually meet and discuss this on site. Take a look at this a little closer.
Yeah.
This is Peter. I think that the contour lines on the drawing actually show it into the site.
Are you talking about the depression?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everything's depressed. You don't know how it came. If you build the sidewalk there to that curb, you'd be way below the street. The whole thing's depressed for some reason.
Yeah, it's probably a sinkhole. We see these. We're doing one right now out on Wood Street. It's not this large, but it's very similar. it's a sinkhole. And until you get in there and dig it up and look at it, you don't really know how extensive it is, but it's most likely going to require that we do dig up some of that private property. We're going to have to get out on the private property to make sure that we stabilize the whole area and it doesn't reopen. So I think that's a plan. We'll try to schedule something maybe for next week.
That should work. Can we get a conditional approval?
Any other comments from the commissioners?
I'm just curious what the proposed storage areas are.
Well, what he is planning on doing, rather than having a traditional parking area, which I have it laid out as a parking area, but he has it so that people, say a car dealer is getting cars, and he has 10 cars, but you only have 5 spaces that you can pack them in there. It's not for public parking. It is for storage, for temporary storage and movement of vehicles.
Okay, like a staging area for vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, the owner owns also the building across the street that has some auto repair and things in there. So the lot would be for those tenants as well.
Yes.
And we do have notes on the plan that do prevent this becoming a junkyard
Yeah, that was.
or a salvage yard.
Yeah, we had that conversation earlier. Okay. Yeah, if they are cars that are being repaired in process or something, they could easily sit there for too long and start to look like a junkyard. So.
Are we ready for conditional approval on this?
I think we're going to be moving to phase lines, I'm sure. So I think we need to take this.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you heard that. Dan, it looks like we're going to need a time extension on this.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to table it for today, just so we make sure we get the phasing correctly. And we'll take a look at this for you next month.
Okay.
All right, do I hear a motion to table 601 South 9th Street? Okay, Danny, second?
Peter?
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, very good. We'll take a look at this next month.
I should have the ENS. I should have ENS approval by next month too.
Oh, well, that would be helpful too. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that's all your projects, right, Dan?
I think so. Yes. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank
Well,
you
have
so
a very
much.
good evening.
You too.
All right. Next, we move on to the RAC Student Union Annexation and Land Development Plan, and I'll turn that over to Jerome for the update.
Okay. This plan was previously reviewed, and we had extensive discussion regarding the floodplain. This plan has now been reviewed and dated July 21st. It involves the plan. It basically itself is not changed in terms of the design. It is for the student union, and it will also be for an annexation and land development plan for the student union. The property is located at 25 South Front Street. It involves 4.95 cumulative acres of land. As I mentioned, it's going to involve annex of pre-existing parcels of land that will be joining Common D. We had a great deal of discussion The applicant has submitted architectural renderings, floor plans, and building elevations in order to demonstrate compliance with our various zoning requirements. So we now have those available for review. The applicant has submitted an addendum to the zoning hearing board's decision that was issued via appeal 2501-0005, and it was granted on March 12th, 2025. There will be some focus or emphasis on the flood proofing requirement as well as flood elevations associated with this site. And the purpose of this addendum is to provide clarification on the requirements within the floodplain overlay district, which we'll go back to for a little bit more discussion. Permits will be required for this, as mentioned. It is in the floodplain overlay district, so floodplain permit will be required as well as zoning permits that will be required for the site. Parking restrictions will be required along South Front Street for this project, and then that will also need to be coordinated with the Public Works Department. In terms of the development, shall be served by sanitary sewage disposal. The planning module for the project shall be endorsed and then sent to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The Fire and Rescue Department will also need to review this plan. We have provided comments regarding stormwater management, which we're just down to a few of them. One involves a waiver that has been requested regarding the requirements for mitigating the impact of stormwater runoff on downstream stream banks, erosion caused by the proposed development. And we can jump back to that one later. First County Conservation District did approve or issue their letter of adequacy. That was issued by the county, I believe, on July 1st. I'm sorry, July 9th it was issued. A municipal improvements agreement will be required for the development, and a stormwater management maintenance agreement will be required for this project. There was a typo and repeated comment on page 2. Let's go back to the comment 5, which I believe is going to be the highlight of our discussion for this area. It's my understanding that the addendum was submitted and shall be considered by the zoning hearing board on August 13th, 2025, and the decision we anticipate to be rendered by September 10th, 2025. The City Reading Planning Commission may take action on this plan once the issues on the floodplain have been resolved. So I think that summarizes, made a great deal of progress between last month to this month. So we look like we're in much better shape with the exception of just one issue that's a focus.
If I may speak to these, there's full application that has been submitted to the zoning hearing board. It's not just an addendum, and it's seeking a variance from section 600-1823B4 of the zoning ordinance, which had been requested by the city's review letter. The prior variance, which addressed all of the factors, was a variance from section 600-1834C1 and 1823B1. So there's also a variance being requested in this application from section B4, which addresses non-residential uses. In this case, it's in zone AE. It's our position the revised plans are placing certain uses above the base flood elevation and making certain safety improvements, including moving a switch to be able to turn off building electricity above the base flood elevation to address one of the major concerns that had been before the Planning Commission at last month's meeting. I have with me Ken Deerstein, Bob Reed, and Paul Schmall, who will be able to answer any questions that you have regarding the floodproofing measures and also the compliance with not only the zoning ordinance requirements, but also the Code of Federal Regulations requirement factors for variance in 40 CFR 60.6, which are addressed in the addendum to the variance application.
Okay, Tim, do you have anything?
Actually nothing on the floodplain. Everything that Joan London expressed, I've reviewed and I understand it. And it seems that is something now we wait for the zoning hearing board to act on. And then we'll have, we'll respond accordingly. And I've had a chance to discuss this with Dave Barr, our new CD director as well. So I think we have a mutual understanding on that. I do have an update on the planning modules. I understand that everything is ready to go for a resolution on Monday from City Council. So we should have that for you next week. And Paul Schmall, if you're there, the waiver, the way I understand the waiver is actually for using rationale method in lieu of the Soil Conservation Service method. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, which Public Works supports that waiver.
We want to take action on the waiver or wait? You can take action on the waiver. Okay. Cool. That way that can be added to the drawings right away. Okay. Any comments from the commissioners?
I'm just curious, how did we resolve the items that we were debating vigorously last time? How do those issues go away? Floodplain issues.
The zoning hearing board application, there's going to be an addendum to their previous appeal, which is going to focus on the floodproofing requirement.
Right, so these are zoning requirements in chapter 18 of the zoning ordinance, and the zoning hearing board sits as the floodplain appeals board under the FEMA regulations and under the city zoning ordinance. So on August 13th, there will be a hearing held on that before the zoning hearing board, and they'll make the decision as to whether or not to grant the variance to allow the flood proofing as it's been described in the plans and application. And as this is the meeting prior to the zoning hearing board, we're asking for the planning commission's recommendation for approval of the variance to the zoning hearing board.
You're asking for that tonight, Joan?
Yes.
I'm going to defer to Dave Barr on that. The role of Public Works is technical. It's not legal. And I believe this is now in a legal situation. And I'll let him comment on that.
Speaking for community development, we see the technical features of the proposed design, adding a second floor and moving vulnerable infrastructure out of harm's way, out of the flood zone up to the second floor is a positive risk management measure. Of course, there's no risk-free option here. We're in a flood zone. I think their design improves that. And it is within the city's authority, as I read both 44 CFR 60.6 and the state FEMA Emergency Management Agency's guidelines. This is within the city's authority to decide.
So we think it is a better risk management solution to allow this to proceed with mitigating factors which are detailed in the amended zoning application. And it's on that basis we asked the planning committee to support this. Now, we do agree that there may be a legal question about whether the city has this authority. I read the zoning code 61835 as allowing that, but if there's any question, we can certainly get that opinion by the next meeting.
Our planning commission attorneys.
Well, what is the question whether the planning commission has the authority to make a recommendation to the zoning hearing board, or is the question whether the zoning hearing board has the authority to grant the variance that's been requested? What is the question? I just want clarification on that.
It's the latter of the two.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Whether the zoning hearing board has the authority.
All right, well, that's not for the planning commission to determine. I mean, the zoning hearing board
You're
has
correct.
to make its own determination of whether or not the relief that's being requested is within its jurisdiction.
That's correct.
What we're asking for is a recommendation in the advisory capacity of the planning commission.
The other topic, that was being discussed last time, Tim, you brought up that had to do with I guess being at odds with FEMA in some regard. I don't remember the details exactly, but
yes, yes, the plan is at odds with the technical requirements, the engineering and architectural requirements of FEMA. However, as Joan London and Dave Barr have mentioned, the Code of Federal Regulations also includes legal remedies through a variance through the local zoning hearing board. It gives the local zoning hearing board the authority to issue variances. There are some guide rails or some restrictions on what they absolutely can't do, but what they're looking for now is relief from this floodproofing, this dry floodproofing. They want to substitute wet floodproofing. That's not specifically mentioned as one of the taboos or one of the things they can't issue a variance on. So it now becomes a legal matter. That's why I'm going to be a little silent right now. I can render my engineering opinion as I did last time, but now it's up for the attorneys to determine what the legal authority is of our zoning hearing board.
So there was some concern about some liability, though. And again, forgive me for not remembering what you brought up, but
right, yes, because if the city is found to be just arbitrarily issuing variances, they could be found to be, it doesn't agree with the way that the ordinance should be accepted, and that could cause some problems with the enrollment, the city's enrollment and participation with enrolling the community, the city in flood insurance, then with the national flood insurance.
Right. I think that was what it was.
That was the concern I raised. However, as Dave Barr mentioned, that there is this variance, which seems to indicate that there is some relief that could be examined. As far as how far that goes, again, that's beyond my abilities and my expertise. That's a legal question.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that this is the only way these properties are going to get developed, is if this sort of accommodation can be made.
I do agree with Dave Barr in what he just said, that there is there's an existing flood risk right now with the student union building that's presently being used. It presents a flood risk, and what they're proposing should reduce that. I think there may be an argument. I don't want to make the argument for the owners, but it would be less of a risk. And if we do the floodproofing the way it is prescribed by the CFR, this would kill the project. However, if they get this variance, what I'm hearing from Mr. Deerstein is that this would enable the project to move forward, but not to the extent of the requirements of the CFR and our ordinance for the dry flood proofing. So I think the argument that Mr. Barr presents here is compelling.
I've had the experience of a municipal client getting pushback from FEMA after having granted a variance from these flood regulations. And that the reaction of FEMA was just what Tim said, was to threaten to disqualify the property owners within the municipality from participation in the flood insurance program. So that's a very serious threat from FEMA. What I would suggest in this case is that the Planning Commission could express its support for the outcome that is proposed by RAC, but I would not include any statement regarding the authority of the zoning hearing board to grant the requested relief. That, to me, is something that only the zoning hearing board should determine. And I would not recommend that the Planning Commission take a position on the legal authority to grant the variance. So I don't know if I'm suggesting something confusing to you, but I think the outcome is desirable, but the means to achieve that outcome are by way of the exercise of authority, which I don't wish to take a position on, and I don't recommend the Planning Commission take a position on.
Fine, that's fine with us. What we're looking for is a letter of support for the project itself and the variance, and we're not asking for the Planning Commission to comment on the authorization of the zoning hearing board at all. I mean, we're simply asking for a recommendation and letter of support. And I think that's what you're asking as well, without discussion of the CFR or the zoning ordinance.
That's right. So I think what you stated, Joan, is consistent with the recommendation that I made a moment ago, that Planning Commission can support the project without taking position on the legal authority of the zoning hearing board.
Chris, we agree. I agree, certainly. And I can't speak to the circumstances of the other case that you mentioned, but we take very seriously our ability to remain insurable by the National Flood Insurance Program. I think the key here is that we don't want to be arbitrary. We want to have a well-reasoned case. And I think FEMA and 44 CFR 60.6 allows local municipalities to make these decisions precisely because FEMA, the federal government, nor the state government really has an understanding of local circumstances enough to make this decision in every case. They know that. This is why I think they've delegated it. They've given the variance ability to the local municipalities if it meets the what I call 4460.6 tests. And this is what the amended zoning application speaks to. So again, we take National Flood Program insurability very seriously.
So this relief has been granted on a prior project as well, is that correct?
Prior project with RAC?
Yeah.
Yes, the White's building, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was a similar situation where all of the electrical facilities and a lot of the mechanicals and everything were moved up to the second floor, at least the second floor. It might have even been higher. I think part of my comments last month was that putting programming on the first floor. There was talk about putting computers and things like that on the first floor. And it seems to me that that's not, that is what's putting programming on the first floor is actually very risky. And if we take, for example, the 2006 flood and UGI's training facility used to be down on the riverfront. They've now moved it to Bern Township because when the last flooding in 2006, it destroyed about $500,000 worth of computers and equipment. And so my comment is that we're trying to avoid that by allowing the flood proofing, but limiting programming on the first floor. And having permanent facilities on the first floor. In the White's Hall case, they were only allowed to have a desk, furniture, and a phone, I believe.
I think we lost audio.
Good timing, huh?
Yeah. Right when it was getting good.
Oh.
Says Tim Kroll is the host now.
No. Oh, me? Really?
Yeah, there was a message on my screen that you were the host.
I think
Does
we
that mean
lost.
I have to fix it?
I think we lost connection to
I
the
think we did.
room
Yeah.
itself. Yes.
Yeah,
I
we
think
don't
we're-
even have the room on the list right now.
Audio has been back today. It's been an echo sometimes.
Yeah, Tim, you're the host now.
Yeah, so that means I got to fix it, right? Scotty, beam me up.
Give it all you have.
Should we try and disconnect and reconnect again, you think?
I don't know. That's gonna. I think the issue is on at their end because we're all connected.
Yeah, we're all connected. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's their.
See if there's any email here from them.
I lost my connection earlier, so I used the phone number, and then my internet came back on. I didn't want to lose it, so I had both.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I can try to make a new connection on my phone.
Because we won't have a quorum otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, so Simon's
now-
back as the host.
Simon's back.
Yeah.
Don't know. Turned off.
Ah, there you are.
There we go.
Welcome back.
Sort of.
Okay.
It's not gonna catch it.
Okay, Tom,
Guys have to stick another quarter in.
it's free, it's, I don't know.
Sorry about that, everyone. It's, I think the poor computer after about 2.5 hours just says, oh, that's enough. Which is kind of funny because I see these are all HPs and my wife works for UGI. And they just changed all their computers, their Windows 10 computers from Dells to HPs. And the HPs on Zoom, they're just having, on Teams, they're just having tremendous amounts of problems with them.
Yeah, Teams is a problem, yes. Usually Zoom is pretty good.
So you can the discussion. It's our position that the threshold for making these improvements is extremely low. And for an institution like BRAC, it would prevent any development, any updating of its facilities that are absolutely necessary for an institution of higher level. It would present a great hardship that would justify variance requested under any standard. Be able to do this again. It is very much risk mitigation, as Mr. Barbs pointed out. Program space is there now. It's going to improve the risk profile by moving some of these uses such as fitness center higher up, moving the electrical and mechanicals up to the second floor, making conditions safer, putting on a second story, which was very high cost, but BRAC spent that money in that redesign. But there are limits to what BRAC can do with a challenged property. The campus would not be able to be developed and kept up to date under a liberal application of these standards.
Mr. Chairman, per your comment from last month in terms of concern, in terms of whether the electric would trip and whether that was a concern, we took that very seriously and worked with our electrical engineer to look at an additional Knox box on the outside of the building. You could cut off electric from above the base flood elevation, as Joan had indicated, so that we have that additional protection in addition to the trips that the electric equipment is supposed to do to begin with, but would have that ability on the outside of the building to shut that off by emergency circumstance.
Well, that's, I'm very glad you looked into that. I think that would be a great benefit to emergency personnel.
Absolutely.
And other first responders. So the question comes, yeah, the letter. Do the commissioners support, would the commissioners like the staff to write a letter of support for RAC in their to the zoning hearing board?
I would support that.
Yes.
Yes.
Will?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do too. So so I think if we'll get our heads together and write this letter of support with the help of our solicitor, and we can and we'll get it done quickly. because, you know, the zoning hearing board is coming up, right? It's on the 13th.
13th, yes.
Yeah.
Second Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because the decision won't be rendered until the September 10th meeting. We're going to need a time extension then, since they went to action. So they'll be past the 90 days by the time of the decision. So we'll just give the time extension.
Okay, that's fine. We'll give you the time extension. I mean, giving it informally now, if you want it in writing, they'll give it to you, give it in writing.
Yeah, and I think, do we still have time to do the time extension for next month's meeting?
Yeah, you have time for next month.
Yeah, just submit it and once we're on the agenda.
But if you're not gonna be here, that's fine too. So we could do it tonight. Let's do it tonight.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so we'll give the time extension to what date you need it.
It's usually 90.
I would do 120, just to make sure that the decision's time.
All right, are you all right with that? Yeah, all right, that's fine, 120 days then.
Where is it? I'll answer that by saying, I hope not. Yeah.
Not to, but we want to get it past the zoning hearing board. The zoning hearing board is very prompt. Hearing next month, decision next month. You just have to wait for a 30-day appeal period. Yeah.
When we talk,
Is there a conditional approval being requested at some point from this fund?
it'll be granted as soon as the zoning hearing board makes this decision. And on that timeline, I mentioned that September 10th is the date that the hearing will be, the zoning hearing board will render their decision, and then our next meeting will be able to approve the plan with any remaining conditions.
Yeah,
Set your September meeting. At our
Right,
September
right,
meeting.
provided that the zoning, if the zoning hearing board gives us a favorable decision.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What we should take care of, the letter will be written by staff in support. And then that can go then to the zoning hearing board they'll have that. But the other thing we could take action on in addition to the extension is the waiver. Right. So we take action. Those are two actions. Okay, great.
Okay, so first we'll do the waiver. Do I hear a motion to accept to grant a waiver for regarding the requirements for mitigating the impact of stormwater runoff on downstream stream bank erosion caused by the proposed development? The applicant has requested to utilize the rational method for stormwater calculations in order to meet the requirements specified by chapter 505-127. Okay, Danny?
Second.
Okay, second. Okay, Nelson? Got a right microscope. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Great. Okay, and then next, do I hear a motion to grant a time extension for 120 days? So that this can go to the back to the zoning hearing board. Okay, Danny? Second?
Peter?
Peter? Question on the motion?
Do we need to table or we just do the time extension first?
Yeah, that's time extension first.
Yeah, we'll do the time extension first and then we'll do the table.
Very
That's
fine.
right.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? All right. Then, before we table, are there any other questions or comments from the commissioners on this plan? Okay. Anything from
Just kidding.
Our reps are right.
I don't have anything further to say.
I just want to thank you all very much for the work you're putting in. I mean, there's a lot of due diligence and research that went into this. This is going to be, come to our campus and see how impactful WHP is, the Waste Home Care Plan has been. This is going to be even more so for our city and county students. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your careful attention.
Do we need to submit to or talk to the fire department, or are you submitting our plans for the
They have them in our LTP site as well as the shared drive. So they have, but you can reach out to them by email and then just ask them if there are any comments that you need to address.
Very good. With that, do I hear a motion to table? Okay, Danny? Second,
Peter?
Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Very good.
Thank you very much.
Okay, once again, thank you, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for your patience. These meetings are getting surprisingly long again.
You're under my 3-hour threshold, you're fine.
All right, okay. Okay, the last one is the Mitsubishi Chemical Advanced Materials Parcel D.
Okay. This plan was submitted previously to the planning commission for review and consideration. This review is now dated July 22nd, 2025. We apologize for the late delay on this review. There were some administrative things that needed to be resolved. For those of you to recall, this project involves a 4.9 acre parcel that's located at 2120 Fairmont Avenue. It is part of the Mitsubishi Chemical campus. We previously had reviewed an application that was approved under parcels A, B, and G. This is parcel D. And what they're going to be doing with parcel D is looking at an expansion of 13,780 square feet to accommodate warehousing, manufacturing, and industrial processing at this facility. As I mentioned, we previously reviewed this plan. Plan is now dated. This plan is now dated July 8th, 2025. As mentioned, the site is located within the MC zoning district. We had asked the zoning office should verify the base compliance for requirements and more specifically the uses that are going to be contained within this warehousing building. Fire and rescue department will need to verify or approve the plan, considering the fire hydrants, standpipes, and or related emergency response facilities. The revised landscaping plan was approved. The applicant has submitted a sanitary sewage planning narrative for this project. And I believe the planning module is not required for this project. The development will be a stormwater management plan was previously submitted and reviewed, and all items have been taken care of. The Public Works Department, in conjunction with my office, shall verify the compliance requirements associated with this project. The NPDES permit amendment for the development shall be approved by the Berks County Conservation District and DEP prior to municipal approval. The erosion and sedimentation control plan, a letter of adequacy is required by them. The applicant has identified a note on the plan requesting waivers. The waivers would be for an environmental impact assessment report, a community and fiscal impact assessment report, a traffic impact assessment report, a parking and loading assessment report, and recreation impact assessment report. Again, this project is going to be a plan that is exempted from standard procedures, so we don't believe that these impact studies are required, but we might as well proceed. That's shorter. That we take action on the waiver request as presented. The Berks County Planning Commission has now reviewed the plan and has submitted comments dated June 27, 2025. A municipal improvements agreement will be required, and a stormwater management maintenance agreement will be required for this project. That concludes it. We have now brought back that this plan is a preliminary / final plan versus just a preliminary plan. We feel that everything is in order on this project, subject to the actions that would be required for the waiver request, and the other items would be conditions of approval. Yeah, very good. Okay. Any comments, Tim?
To tell you the truth, I have not had a chance to look at this drawing. I think everything that Jerome has said makes sense. I think we did talk about the planning modules. It's a warehouse. So I'll look for the note on the plan that would explain that, and I probably will agree with it. And yes, we would need a stormwater management plan. I think other than that, I wouldn't have any other comments.
Any comments from the commissioners? Okay. Then we'll move on to the waivers. Let's see here. Do I hear a motion to waive the requirements of the environmental impact assessment, the community and fiscal impact assessment, the traffic impact assessment, the parking and loading assessment, and the recreation impact assessment, as detailed in sections 515-405 and section 515-704. Okay. Dan?
Second.
Okay, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 And are we ready to grant additional approval?
Yeah, this one's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause I-
Scott Miller here from.
Oh, there you are, Scott.
I was gonna see if I didn't have to say anything, but I figured I'd get my money's worth out of this. So, is there any particular questions that you have regarding the plan? I think Jerome covered everything on it. We will meet the conditions as outlined in the review letter. And I know that the client, Mitsubishi, has been working directly with the fire marshal on their requirements for sprinkler and any standpipes that are associated with the project.
Any questions from the commissioners? All right. Then do I hear a motion to grant conditional preliminary final plan approval for the Mitsubishi Chemical Advanced Materials Parcel D Land Development Plan located at 2120 Fairmont Avenue, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 22nd, 2025. Okay, Danny? Second?
Peter.
Okay, Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. And then just to cover ourselves here, do I hear a motion to authorize the chairman of the planning commission to execute the municipal improvements agreement and the stormwater management maintenance agreement if applicable? Danny? Second?
Second.
Okay, Peter? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Very good. There you go, Scott.
I appreciate it as always.
again-
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Congratulations. I think we just tied a record with the plan reviews.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, 11
I think
reviews
so.
today. Wow. All right, so we don't have any plans requiring time extensions today.
Not
Not anymore, man.
Well, yeah, we got all of them. And we already did the reaffirmation for Lishti's Mennonite Church, so we now move on to the waivers. The first one is for 1501 Mineral Spring Road. And we asked the staff last month to get some clarification.
And they also did have a representative here last time.
That's correct.
Yeah, they promised to have someone who was supposed to be here. Last, I mean.
Yeah, I forwarded the link to Ken. I was for the other one, for they should.
There should be someone here.
Yes.
We have on here from 1501 Mineral Spring Road.
Since that upper left hand.
Yes, I'm here. Kyle Shalacy with Shalacy Architects.
Okay.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. Now, what we were.
So this project came up as a result of a waiver of land development would be requested. There was questions on the parking and there was questions about the internal use of the property, on how it's being divided, and it's a lot. We do now have the architectural renderings, and I think we also have a floor parking layout.
The parking plan, is good.
Okay.
And, we got confirmation they don't need to do planning on this.
Okay. So if there are other questions regarding projects, then the waiver of land development will be considered. Thank you. But yeah, that was needed, and we didn't have anyone here to answer those questions last time.
Yeah, okay. And it's great that they supplied all this information. I felt that from the letter asking for the waiver, that they had all the information they needed. They just needed to get it to us. So, and I see that Salachi Architects does a really good job. Those are very nice plans. So we thank you very much, Kyle, for taking care of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do the commissioners have any questions concerning this waiver?
Yeah, I just want to comment, because this is a historically significant property and I appreciate what the applicant is doing. This is, of course, what was known as the Hawthorne, which was the residence of George Bear, the president of the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad, which at the time was the largest corporation in the world. So this is an architectural gem, and I wish the applicant success with what they're trying to do with the conservation, and I certainly consider the waiver request upon the
Anyone else? Okay, and Tim, you
Yeah, no additional comments. I think we reviewed that since it's all interior. There's really nothing for Public
Yeah.
Works.
okay, great. Then do I hear a motion to approve the waiver request by Danny DeStefano on behalf of Yellow Smidgen LLC from filing a minor land development plan for the conversion of 1501 Mineral Springs Road from a care home to luxury apartments?
So move.
Okay, Dan? Nelson? Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, very, very good. Thank you, Kyle, for being patient and staying with us, and you have your waiver.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
So that one basically is a borderline waiver request. I mean, it could go either way. If there was things that were lacking, like parking, or if they were doing further internal renovations to the property where it's gonna break up the space, we may have required a land development. But this one, it's close, but not necessary.
Even you're more like this.
We get once, like I said, that the chart or the little report sheet that I gave you gives a better idea of what the impacts are. And then I'll look. Yeah. But this one's close. And did require a lot of things, so therefore waiver made sense.
Okay, we will move on to the next waiver, which is for 1140 Luzerne Street. Which I can give a little bit of background because I used to work there. It used to be the Pollock Furs storage facility. And the zoning hearing board recently granted a special exception to allow it to be used by Devour Catering and Event Design. So I'm going to turn this one over to Emily to describe what they're asking.
Yeah, so just because of the size of the building and it being a redevelopment, it triggered a land development plan. Most everything is inside. They are going to be repaving the front that is currently like broken up gravel and macadam. So it's already considered impervious, so they're not technically adding impervious based on what they've stated before. And they'll just be improving it to standard. So they were asking for a waiver of land development, so that way they could just move forward to getting their construction permits and opening up. This will be it'll be basically a commercial prep kitchen for the catering company. They'll prep all the food on site, and then they will deliver it to wherever the event is. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I would say.
One thing about this property, I forgot to look. If Habitat for Humanity put in sidewalks on the other side of the street, I think they did. But anyway, this property does not have sidewalks. The only consideration that I would see is that when I was there the other day, they had 5 vehicles parked there.
And that would be why they, part of the condition of their ZHB approval was to repave that front to be an actual permitted parking surface, and they agreed to do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot how much the gravel. So yeah. Yeah. So how do you feel about this, Tim? Since they're going, it's basic. It's basically a compacted gravel for many, many years, and they're just going to pave it. So I don't think there's any change in impervious surface.
Yeah, the reason for the gravel is to avoid erosion from the property to the adjoining property or into the right of way where we're going to get calls. But I'm hearing Emily, and honestly, I haven't had a chance to look at this. I'm hearing that it's been there for a while and we haven't received any negative complaints regarding 1140 Luzerne. Is that right, Emily? Yeah.
Yeah, and there were no neighbors that came out during the ZHB hearing either, to complain or support otherwise, so.
Yeah, then, but my recommendation is if we haven't heard anything and it's adequate and doesn't set a precedent, it's existing. I mean, the zoning ordinance does speak to existing gravel surfaces. If you consider this an existing gravel surface, then I guess we would recommend to approve.
Any other comments from the commissioners? Do I hear a motion to approve the waiver request by Devour Catering to waive land development for their property at 1140 Luzerne Street? Okay, Danny, second?
I'll second it, Peter.
Okay, Pete. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, very good. There you go. Yep. Yes, like I said, since I worked at that property for 4 or 5 years, it's not really a change. So
Would some, Mr. Chairman, sorry, would someone on this staff briefly address the concern that was raised in the waiver request about why were they being held to this standard and not the previous argument? And this sort of thing has come up before, and I think we should explain to the public. I know planning or zoning wants to address that briefly.
For who?
Oh, what's the difference? I think what Will's asking is, like, for example, with the previous one, we asked for supporting documentation before we granted the waiver. This one is.
I'm sorry. No, what I mean is that in the letter from Devour, they were asking, well, why wasn't the previous occupant of the property that had a similar use? Why didn't they have to go through this process?
So, the reason they went to ZHB was because it was determined that the commercial kitchen was more intense than the previously approved warehouse. And so technically it was an expansion of a nonconformity. That's why they went for the special exception. And also that was a warehouse for decades. I can't speak to what was being done back in like the 60s, 70s.
Well, thank you. I appreciate. I know there's always a good reason, and I just wanted that to be addressed because I mean, when we learn about things, then we can address them. But if it's some prior, like you say, some prior use, non-conforming, and we're not aware, it's not intentional that we're holding people to different standards. We're trying to get everybody to the same standard. So I thought that was important to address that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd also like to say, I think this is I'm familiar with this company. It's a company that was in Ole and then chose to move into Reading. So I think that's, speaks volumes as far as, I'm happy that the zoning hearing board, did what they did with granting exception. And that's the kind of stuff that we have to do if you want to get business into the city. So they were happy and doing well in Ole. They decided to come here, which was a great thing. It's a great building. So hopefully they have good luck there.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that they, that they're, we have people wanting to move into the city. So should be a little bit, accommodating with people like that.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes a lot of businesses like their mom and pops are starting up. There's not a lot of money nowadays. So to ask for all these monies up front for plans and stuff when it's not necessary. It's something else that we have to look at. So that's my comment.
Very good. Very good. Trying to think.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your support.
Oh, hi, Ron.
Hey, how's it going?
No, we are glad to have you here in the city.
Well, I hope to be able to feed some of you shortly then.
Okay. Very good. We will now move on to the zoning amendments. If we have any updates.
We did submit these amendments to the county, and we have been able to receive the review letter from the county, which we are able to share. As one of the follow-up, Michelle did send us Matt, who is here with us. I did share with him a copy of the letter, and I wanted to ask Matt if you have anything you would like to maybe mention or update the commission. You're welcome.
No, I'm more than happy to address any questions the commission has. I did review the letter. I think it's the commission's prerogative to recommend the changes or not. I think some of them make sense. Others the commission might see as unnecessary. But I don't have any specific comments at this time, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
I think we can do this as a staff review initially and then bring it to the planning commission at its workshop meeting in August. Be August 19th would be the workshop session. And then we could finalize it and then get it in a position where we could then either forward it to council or kick it around some more. So it's let's do it that way, maybe.
If it is not too early to the commission, I was hoping to request for your recommendation next month so that it can go to the council. So that we can clear this and pick on others which are right now waiting.
Yeah. I think we can do a lot at the workshop session and then formalize it by the 26th.
Yeah, we can take some time at the workshop session after redevelopment authorities come in, right? Okay, great. Not going to blow me off this time. Okay, reports. Any update on the CRIZ, Peter?
Yeah, we are working on some guideline documents for how to take applications and how to evaluate them. We're hoping to have that in place late summer. And then thereafter, we get into a communications exercise to try to get the word out, to talk to developers large and small, and generate interest in submitting applications for projects.
Okay, and did you have a blighted property meeting?
Yep, they continue to happen every 2 months. It's just a process. It's going, it's working, it's doing its thing. Like again, if you want more detailed readout on that, tell me what you would like to hear, and I can prepare that.
Good. Does Patricia or David have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you, and for your diligence this month. I know there's been a lot to get through. Appreciate it.
So yeah, we haven't been this busy in a long time. Excuse me.
Like a year.
Yeah, it's been like a year. Yeah. Okay. With that, we'll move on to public comments, but there's no public here. So the upcoming meetings, our next workshop meeting is August 19th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. And our next regular planning commission meeting is August 26th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Okay, Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Yes,
So move.
I beat you.
Don't all jump out.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'll take Nelson this time, just for fun.
You broke my streak.
Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we are out of order. Thank you again very much, everyone.